Hi, it seems to me the weather in the UK is just getting worse and worse. Seem to be constantly coping with rain and strong winds, and it's just always dull and miserable these days. This morning it started off with a bit of a glow, and I've been trying to photograph the jays in flight. There's a post over here. I've got the top of the post hollow and it's stuffed with peanuts, and they're coming in, they're taking them, but I'm trying to get them as they land and as they take off, and it hasn't really been working. And after about 90 minutes or so, it clouded over again, it's gone dull. And really for flight photography, that's when you do want a bit of decent light to get some, not just the shutter speeds, but to get those pictures looking sharp. You really want that strong light putting detail into the feathers. It takes a little while to get the jays doing exactly what you want to do them, and this is the first time this winter I've been trying. So you get them coming down to the post, and once that's working, you then introduce a second feeding spot, which is this green tray here, and you put peanuts in there as well. But actually I had to start off with that tray here quite close to the post, so from the post they can see the peanuts, so they get the idea in their heads that there's peanuts there, there's peanuts here. They're going to start flying between the two. But if you leave the tray here, that's no good, because they don't really fly, they sort of hop, they don't open the wings. But once you've got them into the habit, the idea, then you move the tray further away, and then you get a proper flight as they go backwards and forwards. So that's what I've been trying to do, and once they're doing that to a degree, you stop feeding on the post so much. You only put 4 or 5 peanuts in, and a jay can get more than 4 or 5 peanuts into its crop. So once it's done that, hopefully it then flies across to this second feeding point. And that's been working, but it took a while to make it happen, and by the time it did, the light has really disappeared. It's too dull for this sort of photography now. I was ending up shooting at 12,800 ISO. Now, some people might regard that as quite a low ISO today. For me, that's very high. But then I spent the first few decades shooting on Kodachrome 64 ISO. And then after that, a decade on Fuji Sensia 100. So shooting at 12,800 to me seems extreme. But when I get back and look at the pictures, I expect I will be impressed. But let's start off by looking at a few slow motion video clips of the jay coming in. I did try to take some stills pictures of this, but I failed. The camera was up to the job, the operator not so much. In video mode, there's no way will the camera manage to keep this bird in focus, so you're just manually focused on the post. But I can watch slow motion video of birds in flight all day. I just love looking at it. So here's the stills pictures, 12,800 ISO using Pro Capture as the bird leaves the perch. Processing is DxO Pureraw. I put everything through that, low or high ISO, and this is the best wing position. But I only actually got 4 pictures from the entire session, and this was the best, just because of the spread of the wings. And I think that's amazing at 12,800. These next few shots were taken in 2022, and you can see the light is much better, but exactly the same location, same setup as well. And the pictures are better just because of the light. No cropping on these images, they're all full frame. The post doesn't just attract jays. Some days there's large numbers of jackdaws come in. And I like jackdaws, they're a very sociable, gregarious species, so you get a lot of interaction between them. And if you get half a dozen birds coming at once, those peanuts last about 2 minutes and they've all gone. And a bit more footage of jackdaws checking out a possible nest site. They nest in holes in trees, and early in the spring they'll spend a lot of time choosing the right hole. Having a bit of a chat about it here. And you collect a bit of furniture, and pretty soon you've got a nice lining and a bit of an extension. Thanks for watching.